Hey, morning everyone. Another glorious day here in the PNW. Just kind of getting rolling. Figured I'd get a little update. We've got a lot going on and got some explaining to do. So a lot of this stuff is actually going to be going on my Gen 453 build that I'm working on for my street car. It's going to go in a Gen 4 Camaro actually. That's the turbo for the turbo truck. Down there, we just got a bunch of, there's the tile 60 millimeter wastegate. It's got the 50 millimeter blow off valve, some add-ons from Current Performance for AC fueling, etc. Terminator Max. We got the Pro Dash in there with the Atomic Fab mount, which is actually over here. I've been messing with that and integrate the plastics off of this piece just so that it looks, more OEM, if you will. And this is one of my 4L80s. This one's just a stage 2. I have all the components here. This is all the big boy stuff. My Motion Raceworks shifter. It's a reverse pattern to go with the Extreme Automatics EA 4L80 Pro valve body. And we got some goodies going in down here. The billet overdrive. And then we also have the super drum as well. So it's got all the goodies along with the input output shafts, etc. And the weather hasn't been the greatest, but here we are. Those doors are going on the turbo truck. You can actually go out there because my side pieces, the doors were repainted I should say, and they didn't do a very good job. So I'm taking these off. I'm gonna pull the little side trim off so they're bare, switch them back over to black to match my, I have the gloss black handles, and my passenger side fender was a little messed up, so we're throwing this one on there, and we got an extra hood. I just want to keep the body work clean. I've got stuff all over. That's a extra 10 bolt we're working on. I'm probably just gonna sell it. I was gonna keep it, but it's all fresh and done up. So, and then we got, this is LC9. It's an aluminum 5.3. That is the core for my stage 6 setup. It's another 4L80. That's going to go in the turbo truck. The black one's just going to go in temporarily. Then I'm going to end up putting that in my, oh, there's my little downhill bike. Have to post some video with the kid on the stay sick and try to keep active around here, especially when it's cold and you don't want to do anything. Had some cool stuff show up today, which I'll get into. I was just kind of playing around. Got my Atomic Fab motor mounts and got a lot going on in here. I'm waiting on a different top mount for this. That way it'll just tighten it up and lower the truck a little bit. It's a shorter distance between. Those ones just mount more or less for like a lifted truck, but we're making progress. I need to trim and clean up a little bit around this to make it a little easier when we're pulling the engine in and out. There's not a whole lot of room, and just being that it's an SUV and it's so long, like, you don't really have a lot of choices. So I'm gonna try to trim that up a little bit, and been painting the frame. Like, this thing's been beat from just pulling the motor in and out, but I'm gonna go through, clean it up. I have brand new, drilled and slotted rotors for this thing, which right here. So these came from the Auto Shack. What's up? So these will go on. The truck's been sitting as I've been accumulating parts and stuff, but here's where it's at. There's obviously no motor in it, no transmission. I pulled a bunch of weight out of this thing. I even pulled all the harnesses that are existing. Anything that we're no longer using, I actually just removed it. But yeah, here's kind of what's going on here. But there's this clear coat, it looks like to me. So I just think it looks a lot better, with them off. So we have the 5-inch springs that are actually going to be here today, so it'll lower it just a bit more. I don't want this thing too low. It does have the 3rd row seat in there, but there's no fuel cell, and you know, there's quite a bit that's been pulled out of the back. So kind of get into what we're looking like in here. I've got a mess of stuff still, but here's where we're at. I got the Braum Elite R seats. These are super sweet, really like them. I'm like 34, 36. I'm about 6'1", and they fit really nice. Atomic Fab seat mounts. They fit really well. I did run the spacers on these because otherwise the slider doesn't work as it should. But well, at least in my opinion, so that's kind of how I'm running it. Here's what we got going on here. This is obviously tight. This is not where it's going to sit. I'm actually going to relocate it based on where it mounts down there, and I just wanted to see how it would fit in the OEM location, but I kind of put this together so that it would still be able to fit. And yes, you can shift with it. I have a really big hand and it's not a problem, but obviously it's not ideal to stay there. So essentially this is kind of the gist of it. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this green. I just kind of wanted to try it out. I've never wrapped anything, not really that great, but we're gonna be doing, you know, obviously a push button start. This thing's running the Holley Terminator X Max. This thing will go up here. I'm actually not done with the steering wheel setup, but this is the Lotzi Pro Mod wheel. Has 3 buttons here. Fabric's pretty nice too. This was a little off. I'm not super pumped on that, but it is what it is. It looks pretty nice for what it is. I still have to go through and clean up a lot of the stuff in here. I'm not going to do a whole lot with this harness, but you know, we got the 3-pod cluster here, which I painted because yeah, they don't make it in black from what I've seen. I actually just ordered the fabric for up here, so I'm going to pull this. Well, I've already pulled it, but it's going to get pulled back off, and everything is going to be switched to black like the rest of it. Eventually, you know, there's a couple things that still need a little love. Like I gotta do something with these. I just gotta probably make a new seat cover, do something different, creative. We may end up putting some race seats back here as well. I'm hoping to get another set of Braum Elite R's back here with Atomic Fab mounts. Who knows? We'll see what we can do. This is the Rhodes fuel cell that I'm going with. Yeah, it's big, and yeah, it's a pain in the ass to mount. So here we go. So here's the fuel cell. The gist of it, these are gonna have to get cut off. This I'm probably gonna relocate. I'll probably just end up plugging this. That way it's not sticking up, because I need this to sit as high up as possible, basically directly underneath where it's at, just a little more, you know, matched to center line. And we have a surge tank from Atomic Fab that's coming, so I'm gonna have to remove that, and then we'll have to open up that hole, and then we're gonna do the Aeromotive 5 gallon per minute pump, and that's what's gonna keep us fueled. It's the I think it's the 18395. It's variable and brushless, so hopefully that'll work out well. The fab work underneath has been a little slow coming, but this is where I'm at right now. So the gist of it is that right here I need to get the tank to sit all the way up flat where those vents are now, and I don't want to have anything up in that way. And then up here I'm gonna have to, once I get all this cleaned up, this is probably gonna have to go, and I'm gonna add a bar from here to here, you know, nice brace. Same thing on the aft end here, and that'll get that cleaned up. But here's kind of where we're at. We got a 14 bolts in there, all the good adjustable stuff from Spawn. It's got the panhard bar, upper lower control arms, and it has the Ibach front and rear sway bars. Currently it has these not so great shocks on them right now. Yeah, I won't get into it with those, but we're gonna put Viking Crusaders out back too. I'm just waiting for the 5-inch springs so I can install them, and then I can turn around and get the correct ride height so that my shocks are the right size. But it's coming along. Like I said, I'm gonna trim this up and get this fuel tank mounted so it's not super low. But worst case, I'm gonna mount it forward of this line here, butt it up to it, and then if I need to modify the floor back there a little bit, and that's what we're gonna do. But one thing that I'm working on is getting a set of 15-inch, like a drag pack for the rear. So I'm hoping to get a matching set of 15-inch rears from Raystar for this thing, that I can put a little bit bigger tire on there, but I don't want to go too big because this thing's already heavy, and I think it's just having too big of a tire might slow it down. Who knows? But we'll see. We have another super exciting thing here. I've got my mounts, or my upper lower control arms from DJM Suspension. Super pumped on those. So I am going to get these opened up today, and we're going to get these installed. I do have to work this weekend. I typically work Fridays too, but so yeah, super pumped on these. Appreciate you guys, and pretty soon we'll be getting them on here. More to come.